Is that a mop next to you?
A mop? Not a gun or something? No, it's a mop.
Whoa, Kylie!
I'm sorry.
Welcome to the KK Show. This is Ken.
This is Kylie.
Today, we have a very special guest all the way from New York.
Yep.
Let's welcome China Mac.
Woo! There's an echo.
Yeah, Mac, I found your video on YouTube and your story was just fascinating. I saw the video. You were just like taking a tour of Chinatown and telling your stories of growing up in Chinatown and what it was like and your history with the local gangs. And then I watched your video with MC Jin, like the long talk that you had. I was like, oh my God, like you're so real and so sincere. I was like, I want to have him on our podcast, even though our listeners are mainly in Taiwan and probably don't know what's going on in the States and don't speak English, but I still want you to be on our show because you're so interesting.
Yeah, I saw your story on BBC, and the BBC like lays out like how had a difficult childhood and how you try to help and then innovate Asian American.
Yeah, try to bring an Asian community together, just fight against the Asian hate. We're just like, we gotta talk to you.
Yep. So would you mind, or first question, why did you call yourself China Mac? Because my sister's name is Asia and she got made fun of in the States all the time. But you call yourself like China.
Your name is Asia?
Yes.
For real?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have an Asian girl named Asia. I don't think I have. They're usually like different. They're like different nationalities that call themselves Asia, where I'm from. But yeah, my name is China Mac because, that's the name that was given to me. It was like they were calling me that. I was in prison before, right? Mac was like a lingo for like, a group of cool people. They used to always call me like, oh, Mac. They used to call me China Mac. But that wasn't my name. They used to just call me that, right? So when I was leaving prison, I thought about it and I said that name is kind of catchy and I wanted to use that name because I'm Chinese. And I wanted to use that name as my stage name. That's how I used the name. That's how I got my name. It was given to me.
Cool. So in the beginning, I said that I told people that you grew up in Chinatown, right? In New York. But what was it like when you were growing up in the early 90s, late 80s? What was Chinatown like in New York?
Oh, they also call me China Mac because I like McDonald's. I like Big Mac.
I thought about this, but I thought it would be like racist to say it. So
the other story was just like, the cool story, but it's really because I like McDonald's, Big Macs. But growing up in Chinatown in the 80s was different. Chinatown was really different back then. It was just, I'm first generation, so a lot of the people that were there had just came from China. It was kind of like, and plus like people, there was a lot of Hong Kong people from Hong Kong there when I was growing up, and it was a lot more violent. It was a lot more gangs there. And that was due to the fact that the Chinese people that were in that community did not speak to the police. They didn't talk to the police. They wouldn't talk to anybody other than Chinese people. And at that time, they had an association that governed Chinatown. So since the people wouldn't talk to the police, they would talk to the associations and the members of the community would like police its own. But then that leaves room for corruption. That leaves room for people to take advantage. So then a lot of gangs started up.
Oh.
And associations would use the gang as muscle. So the people would they would get robbed by the gang member and then they would go to the association. Oh, can you help me? But in all actuality, it was the association sending the gang rob. Yeah, that's how Chinatown was. It was kind of like Wild Wild West,
Wow.
Yeah, but you guys are the first generation, so you guys speak English. So would your parents or older people hire you guys to like talk to the police as a translator? Would they do that or they just give up?
Now it kind of like that stopped. The people like communicate with the police officers and there's more communication. But at that time, it was still insular. Like, you know, the Chinese people just stuck to themselves. Even if they were getting robbed by their own people, they would just stick to themselves because that's how they were taught to do.
Oh, wow. So was violence a real issue back in the days? Like we couldn't tell because in the video I saw, you say there was like weapon hiding everywhere. There was like machetes hiding behind a window or behind a bar. I don't know, but was it really like that, or did you exaggerate a little bit? It just sounds too crazy. I can see that happen right now.
No, it was definitely like that. It was definitely like, yeah. I'm actually working on a movie, right? I can't really say about it, but Chinatown was for me coming up, but it was definitely like that. There was way more gangsters, and you know, there was a lot more stabbings, but it was like Chinese on Chinese. It was like Chinese gangs versus Chinese gangs. So it was like a lot of infighting, you know. But now you don't see that no more. So yeah.
Oh.
So just a random question. So the gangs in the Chinatown didn't try to attack other
they didn't try to
they
didn't try to expand, go outside.
So Latino, though we don't touch them. Is that how it worked? Only attacking its own people?
Yeah, they were just they were extorting Asian people. It was just what they were doing in China. It wasn't like it was something new. They were doing the same thing they were doing back at home in China. So when they came over here, they just used the same tactics and same stuff they were doing, because it's like that with, like, you know, Mexican people, Puerto Rican people, black people, everybody stick to their own. So even if you look at black people, right, most of their crimes are towards each other. Yeah, they do. There are crimes. They do branch out to other people and other races, but the majority of it is just they're inflicting it on each other. So that's just how cultures are. That's just how we're comfortable, like, you know, dealing with things.
Yeah. And we read a story. So you talked about how your father joined the Flying Dragons. It's one of the biggest gangs in Chinatown. And how did your mom cope with that?
Yeah, so my mom actually didn't know that he was in the gang at first, because my father was a taxi driver. Right? So he was I remember seeing these like gangster movies, Chinese gangster movies from back in the days, and then you see like somebody like at nighttime meeting a gangster, and then the next morning the person goes to dim sum and you see the gangster working at the dim sum parlor or something like that. I feel like it was something like that. Like my father, he was a taxi driver, but also he was also a gang member for the Flying Dragons. But what happened was there was the time when my father, like Machine Gun Johnny, have you heard of him?
Yeah, I heard about you talking about him.
Yeah, so Machine Gun Johnny, he was like, you know, he was the leader of the gang when my father was in it. But there was a time when they were kicked off of the street because the leader that took over, they didn't like Machine Gun Johnny and my father's crew. So they like casted them away. But then a little while after that leader died. Somebody shot him and killed him. And then Machine Gun Johnny and my father took over Mill Street, like took over Flying Dragons. And then they started bringing the heroin. But before that, they didn't want to do the heroin. They didn't want to do drugs because they knew that it would bring police. So, but when they took over, when Machine Gun Johnny and my father took over, they started dealing with the heroin, and then they eventually got picked up.
Ah, I see.
So how did your mom find out?
Yeah.
Oh, so I found out like after, I think she said that like she was already pregnant.
Oh.
And you know, then she like finds out like a gang member, like a gangster, and then also that he's doing he's dealing heroin. It was hard for her. And he didn't treat her well either. Like he was making all the money, they were making all the money. He didn't treat my right. So my mother always like, you know, struggled with that. And yeah.
So when you were growing up, you always knew that your father was affiliated with the Chinese mafia, right? The gangs.
Well, I didn't know exactly, but I mean, you're a kid. You don't know, like, so as a kid, I really didn't know, but I knew that my father was somebody important. And all my life, I was always somebody important. Everywhere I went, people would know who I was because of my father.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm just curious, like, are these gangs in Chinatown have any affiliations with like gangs in China? Like, do they have like
Hong Kong? Hong Kong, they did. Yeah.
Oh.
So, and later, you said that you joined Ghost Shadows, which was the opponent of your father's gang. Did you do that just try to piss up your dad?
Yeah, I resent. I resented him. He put us in a position. Our lives were in danger, and he put us. So I always resented him, and I always and from my mother, I always heard it from my mother. So my mother always told me he just didn't care about us and how he treat us. And I grew up with that resentment. So when I was offered the opportunity to do so, I did it.
Oh, wow.
I was like, I don't want to be nothing like my dad. I want to join another. Instead of being a doctor or something. I should have been like, hey, I don't want to be like my dad. Go to school and get a better life for myself. But instead I said, no, I don't want to be like my dad. I'm gonna just join the other gang.
That's not very typical Asian of you. We see that you have been in and out of juvie or the system many times. What was it like being an Asian in the system? Like, what kind of things have you seen or experienced that makes it different? Like, because you're Asian.
Yeah, I went to my first juvenile home, like detention center, when I was 8 years old.
Ooh,
8 years old?
I was 8 years old, and then I was the only Chinese kid there. Nobody that even looked. The only one out of 300 kids. It was something that I never, I wasn't prepared for it, right? Mm-hmm. I grew up with my mom, and I grew up with my family shelter, Chinese, where I spoke Chinese with my first language. And I was raised like that. And then when I was 8 years old, something happened, and then they took me inside, and I was the only Asian kid there. And it was just I was constantly being bullied, constantly being ching chong, constantly being smacked on the back of my head, people throwing things at me. It was tough, and I was never taught what to do. So I remember one day, I was sleeping in the bed, and we were in there was bunk beds. There was 3 other bunk beds in the room, and I was sleeping on a bunk bed. And I remember waking up, and I had stuff all over my face. Oh. I had face in my hair. I had baby powder all over me. They threw stuff all over the bed. I had they threw all types of stuff, ketchup, all types of stuff while I was sleeping. So when I woke up, I had all this stuff on me. And then everybody's quiet. They're quiet, right? And then I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then I go to put on my sneakers. The sneakers were wet. Oh. I was like, what? And then somebody said, oh, that's piss that you stepping in.
Oh, shit.
And then I just started crying, I just started crying right there. I didn't know what to do. I felt powerless, I just didn't know what to do. So and they were all laughing. Everybody was laughing. And I remember walking into the staff room, and they were watching a Yankee game. And I remember saying, hey, crying there. I was crying. I couldn't even get the words to come out because I was crying. And they wasn't even paying attention to me. And I was like, look at what they did to me. They didn't even say anything. They was like, well, we can't do anything for you. The only thing that you can do is fight.
Oh.
Wow.
What? They say that?
Yeah. Yeah, he said that to me. And I remember that vividly. And that was something that changed my life. When I walked out of that door, I was just like, well, I have no help. It's just me. So I could either one, just take it and just be everybody's joke and just allow myself to be abused, or I would just have to be brave and fight back. I started fighting back. And it was tough. I used to get beat up a lot. They didn't teach me how to fight. My mother didn't teach me how to fight. Nobody taught me how to fight. But, I fought. And I used to, for the rest of that time period, I had black eyes on my face all the time. But what people started respecting me, because they knew that I would fight back and I wasn't a punk. So when you're in these type of situations, they only respect if you respond with violence. They only respect violence. They don't respect you talking to them. They don't respect pleading with them, because they're gonna view that as weakness, and that's gonna be more reason for them to keep on coming at you, because they know that you're not gonna do anything. So I started fighting back, and every week I would get into a fight. I would have marks all over my face, but people started respecting me, and then it stopped. Like people stopped doing that, and people stopped calling me names, and people stopped it, and I had to fight for it, you know?
Mm-hmm. You say that you speak Chinese with your mom, right? Do you speak Cantonese or Mandarin? Like, where's your mom from?
Yeah, my mom's from Hong Kong, so I speak Cantonese.
Oh, I see. Wow. You were just saying that the sense of helplessness that you felt in the juvie, I think that's probably the feeling that a lot of Asian Americans are feeling right now across the country because of all this like random Asian attacks from it's not out of nowhere, but just it hurts. And as Asians, I think that it's not really in our culture or in our upbringing to really, you know, be violent or just to stand up. Confrontation is actually not part of our thing. So like the way that you try to bring people together and try to voice that, hey, don't push us to the edge. I think it's really brave, and I think it's great what you're doing. But just when COVID-19 first started in America or in the world, like, did you sense that this kind of Asian attack would happen in the very beginning?
I didn't think that it was going to happen, but it didn't surprise me.
Oh, why didn't it surprise you?
Because, you know, I saw what happened with, you know, I can speak for America. I can't speak for another country because I've never really been to other countries, right? But I could speak. America was formed on racism, you know, built on racism, right? That hasn't really left. It changed. It's not the same racism, but it's still formed there. And we have like really deep rooted in our country of racism. So it's something that I've seen before. It's something that I've seen the Muslim people when 9/11 happened, you know, the Muslim community. I've seen like, you know, every time something happens with a group of people, the people will start looking at them a certain way and like targeting them, right? It was different with the Asian hate. It's stronger. It's stronger than any other hate that I've seen outside of Black people, of course, because Black people were the first to be hated in this country. I'm not the first. And then the Black people that came here, the slaves, they were hated. And so we're getting a strong dose of it from what I've seen in my lifetime. I don't feel like it's going to go away.
Oh.
Well, no matter how much people try to do.
That's like, very pessimistic though.
Yeah.
Wow, you don't think this is going away?
You don't think it's getting better?
No, I don't.
Oh. That makes me really sad.
So, but how about when Trump was, you know, talking about, oh, this virus is from China, this is a Chinese virus. Do you think that make a big difference?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is the president of our country. That is the alpha of the country, right? That's the big guy, you know? So if the big guy goes on national television and says, you know, the things that he said that targets it immediately, because it's not like he said China, the country. He said Chinese.
Yeah. So
that doesn't stop. You know, now everybody is looking at anybody that resembles Chinese as the enemy, you know? So I think when Trump did that, he wasn't responsible, you know, like that just wasn't responsible of him because he put a lot of people in danger.
Yeah, because we saw that on the news. It's not just like Chinese Americans got attacked. There was also Japanese people got attacked, right? There was just all kinds of Asians got attacked. So it's really sad from what we see, because we live in Taiwan, but we see like Asians getting attacked in America. We're like, oh my God, like we have friends, we have families in America, and we can't imagine what it's like walking on the street in maybe New York or in Brooklyn, you know, just like maybe some random people would just come out and attack you. It's crazy for us to think of that. Yeah.
Right. But you see, here's the thing. You know, when I think that it's not going to stop, you know, there's things happening. There are changes in our country that's going on right now. And those changes, we are feeling those changes. And it's just not Asian Americans that are feeling it. America is feeling it. You know, it's not just Asian Americans being attacked right now. There every day in New York City, there are women being attacked, Black women, white women, sexually assaulted, raped, harassed. on the train, it's not just Asian people. It's just a problem that we have in our country, crime at this particular moment, and we're seeing that because there's a sense of lawlessness in cities like New York City and cities like San Francisco, because the police presence has removed itself after, COVID, right? After all of the protests and stuff, there was anti-police. So the police removed itself. And now you see a lawlessness in these cities that we haven't really seen. So now the lawlessness is getting out of hand and people are taking out their frustrations. People are broke. There's a money issue. A lot of people are
inflation.
Things are going bad, right? What does that do? That makes people upset. That makes people aggressive. That makes people frustrated. They're going to go take it out on the people that they feel like they can take it out on. They're going to go rob the people that they feel like they can rob without repercussions. Who are they going to go to? They're going to go to the people that they know are not going to fight back. Why would they go rob somebody that might have a gun? They're going to go rob the people that they know are not going to have a gun. Yeah. They're going to go rob the people they know that aren't going to fight back, that they can walk in the community and just beat up a woman, and 20 men can be standing on the street and don't do nothing and just stand there and watch it, And of course, if they see that, they're going to come for that. That's what bullies, robbers, criminals, like anybody that's trying to do criminal stuff, that's what they look for.
Yeah. But it's hard though. Like so to stop this or to make this happen less, I would say not stop. It's that the Asians have to be comfortable with confrontation, right? That's a tough thing, right? What I want to try to say is in Taiwan, at least in our culture, confrontation is not something that we're comfortable with, right?
Yeah.
So you're not in Taiwan. Yeah. I mean, when you're here in America, you're not in Taiwan.
Yeah.
You're not in Beijing. You're not in China, in Japan. You're in America.
Yeah.
Right. So we have to do, because what I feel like is in this country, America, Asians in America have been living in a bubble, right? Mm-hmm. For the most part. Not everybody, not all the Asians, but for the most part in New York City and San Francisco, we've been okay. Like the police have been protecting us. But now with this, with this absence of police presence, right? We're feeling it more right now,
Damn.
Yeah. So what's a recommendation since Ken and I were gonna go to New York?
We're traveling to New York in like 2-3 in a bit.
Well, listen, I don't want you to like because I walked through New York City. I was in Chinatown today, and I don't want you to think like all black people are doing this, or when you walk past a black person, you should feel a certain way, or you should because I was just there. It's not like it's happening every day. It's randomness happening, right? Yeah. It's random stuff. So what we have to do is we as a people have to be more aware of our surroundings, right? Asian people, Chinese people, we walk like this. We don't walk like this. We're not. You know what I'm saying? We're like this, and
like zombie. Do people like pull out their iPhone and play around on their iPhone? Is it safe?
Right. You have to be aware of your surroundings. You have to walk. When you're in the street, right? You can be walking and you have your pocketbook. Somebody could be riding on a scooter and just grab your pocketbook and snatch you. And then you fall, your face hits the floor, and then they ride off with your pocketbook. You have to be attentive. You have to pay attention to your surroundings.
And that's how we grew up too, right? When we were really, really young, we did have like scooters like come by you and then just grab a thing and run away. So in Taiwan, back in the days. And when I was in Berkeley, probably 10 years ago, I was really aware of my surroundings too. I mean, back in the days, we didn't have any smartphones, so no iPhone on the hand issue. So I always had to pay attention to what's happening around me. I kind of forgot about that too, because I'm in Taiwan for too long.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
we got too comfortable here.
We got really comfortable here.
I listened to your podcast when you went on the David So's podcast, right? And we heard you talking about how the Asian community didn't really respond to your call to stop Asian hate. Like, what's your take on that?
My take on it is just that, a lot of Asian people might look at me as like different. I am different. I was raised different. I think because of that, they might disregard what I do or they might count me out of certain things, even though that, what I did initially sparked. I would say that when I went on my Instagram and I saw the 89-year-old woman get burned in Brooklyn, and I went on Instagram and I said, yo, we need a rally for this. We can't keep on letting this happen. We have to speak up now before it gets worse, right? From what I saw, it was the first of its kind right there, right? And then from there, it grew past me. It grew past us, and it got bigger, right? And then, people will still have these events, and they would know nothing about China Mac, right? They wouldn't even know I exist. You know what I'm saying? But it's cool. It's fine with me. I don't take it as anything, because I feel like my job isn't to be credited for what I did, for what I do for the community. My job is to be able to rest at night, and when I die, I can have something to take with me that I'm proud about. You know what I mean? And that's how I feel, and it would never stop me from doing what I do for my people, because this isn't the first time I did it. When I was locked up, when I was on Rikers Island, and I was in prison, like one of the worst prisons in America, I was on Rikers Island, and I would walk into a house, and this like dorm would be madness. Like people just, lawlessness, right? And I saw my Chinese brothers sitting on the floor. They were getting all their food taken. They weren't allowed to use the phone, and they never spoke up. They never fought back. They just took it, right? Everybody was sitting on chairs. They sat on the floor. Everybody was getting 4 pieces of chicken. They would get half a piece of chicken, and they would take it. When I got in there, they didn't accept me. They looked at me like they didn't even want to talk to me, right? And then because they saw that I talked to Black people, they saw that I was like a little different. But what happened was, once I got in that house, I started saying, you know what? Y'all got to give them chairs, man. Like, they can't be sitting on the floor like that. So I got them chairs, and they started sitting on chairs. Y'all got to give them their food. Nobody's going to rob them either. They got to get on the phone. They got to call their family just like everybody else. They have to call their family. You guys can't do that to them. You know what I'm saying? And then they started, I fought for it too, but then they knew that I would fight. So they would just be like, all right, cool. So then now, because of that, Asian people were using the phone. Asian people were getting what they were supposed to get. You know what I'm saying? And that was because of something I did. And I wouldn't sit with them after that. I wouldn't talk with them because there was like a disconnect that I really couldn't understand them. But because you're my brother, I look at you like somebody. If I allow you to be taken advantage of, then that shows weakness on my character, and I would never allow that. Even if I know you don't like me, I wouldn't allow that. So I always did that. That was something I did since I was a kid. I always stood up for us. Of course, it hurts to see like, damn, I don't even get no love from the people that, because I have a really hard job. You know what I mean? My job is hard because I came in with no Asian support. What I appealed to was Black people, Spanish people, white people. That's who I appealed to when my content, when I first making music. Asian people didn't appeal to Asian people, but once I started speaking up for Asian people started learning who I was and started, taking, but it's like, damn, I go hard, I represent us and I do it in a way where nobody else does it. And of course, it feels like it doesn't feel good to see that, people don't give me my credit, but it doesn't stop me because I've been consistent in what I do. We at TCBUA, I don't know if you guys have Instagram in Taiwan. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
we got it.
So TCBUA, the Instagram is TCBUA, and we've been doing stuff like subway support, going up and down the staircases, helping old ladies carry their bags up and down, making sure that people are aware of what's going on.
Did you come up with the name TCBUA? I just want to let our listeners know that TCBUA is short for They Can't Burn Us All. So this is because it's just to memory dedicated to the woman who was burned, right? In Brooklyn. Yeah. So you came up with this. Did you come up with this hashtag?
Yeah, it was me.
Oh, wow. This is powerful. It's just major respect to what you do. Just, even though there is a disconnect, but you still want to speak out for all the Asians there. It's
we seeing some of your songs, your rap or hip hop. Sorry,
rap songs.
Rap songs like Red Money and like some random songs and you talk about your culture, your identity. Do you think like more and more Chinese people or Chinese Americans start to hear what you're trying to say?
I think a lot of Asian Americans don't care.
Oh,
really? Or they just don't like rap? No, they do, right? They listen to rap too.
Or I think Asians.
No. Okay, no. You're talking about rap, right? You're talking about. Is it making more Asian Americans rap? Is that what you're saying?
No, actually not.
It's more about the message that you're trying to convey through your songs.
I'm so sorry it hurts me to say this, but not enough Asian people really care, right? A lot of people are, number one, we're taught to mind our own business, right? Our families have taught us that. So because of that, most of us, and we're taught for non-conflict. So I don't want to be a part of that because, that has nothing to do with me. I'm just going to mind my business. I don't want to get in trouble. It's not happening to me. We're going to do this. So that's the mind state that a lot of Asian people in America have. It's heartbreaking, because we have to look out for each other, in a place where we're outnumbered, in a place where we are like looked at in a certain way, for not everybody, but for a good amount of people in this country that we're in, we do not have the privilege to be separate. We don't have that privilege. That privilege is gone, right? We need to be together. We have to be together, because if we're not together, then if we don't care about each other, nobody's going to care about us. And we're just going to be like suffering over and over and over and over and over and over again. Nobody's going to care about us. Nobody's going to say, hey, this is not right. We have to say this is not right. We have to get up and do something. We have to do it. And until we do that, we're not going to get respect. We're not going to get anything. We're just going to get the shitty end of the stick.
But from what we heard, some Chinese Americans that will see like the rise of China because the China as a country has become more and more powerful, and that might help, to raise the status of Asian American or Chinese American in the States. Do you agree with that?
I love to see Asians rising. Like I love to see that, and I'm proud to be Asian. I'm so proud of, even if it's not the country that I live in, I'm proud of everybody that's been like, that's Asian, that's doing good for whatever, right? That's succeeding. But I'm American. I don't know enough to say what's happening. I don't know enough to really like give a good sound explanation of what's going on. So, and plus I don't want to, because we have enough going on right here in New York City. We have enough to worry about versus what's going on in different countries. We have old ladies safe walking down the street. We have women not safe walking to their car. So there's a lot to worry about.
We got it. But I want to talk about your music though, because we really enjoy your rap. But when did you start rapping? Like when did you find out that this is something I'm good at or something that I can use as my advantage?
When I was in juvenile, that was my way to fit in. That was my way to like communicate. Right?
Oh.
That was my way to like be a part. So I embraced hip hop. Hip hop was my like bridge. I love hip hop. Right? Hip hop really saved me. But also in a lot of ways, hip hop really messed me up too.
Yeah, I remember because what happened between you and MC Jin, right?
So I learned how to rap. And once I started rapping and at first people was like, shut up, right? I remember like they had this magazine back in the days before internet, before phones with, smart devices. We had magazines, guys. So we had this magazine and it was a hip hop magazine called The Source. And in this magazine, they would highlight like the best rap lyrics. And I remember I got this magazine first and I was going through the lyrics and read it. And I read these lyrics and I memorized these lyrics. And I started just rapping the lyrics myself because I didn't know how to rap. So I just memorized that rap and I just started rapping it. And I got so good at rapping at it that I just started rapping it to people. And they was like, oh, well, I would see other people rap. I would go in there and I'll start rapping this rap. And everybody's like, what? That's good, man. And then everybody started reading the magazine and started hearing the song after I did it. And they're like, yo, hold on. This is not you. This is...
今天的干爹 NordVPN 大家应该已经十分熟悉。
除了跨海区海外追剧的功能之外， NordVPN 的 CyberSec 技术还可以阻绝恶意软体、钓鱼网站，甚至是讨人厌的弹出式广告。
这次也依然提供教徒 VPN 优惠，搜寻 nordvpn.com/kkvpn 或输入百灵果优惠码 kkvpn，
以优惠价格购买2年方案，再额外赠送1个月，平均1个月只要不到100元，就能大大提升你的网络体验。So I heard that you actually did rap battle in the system. Is that really what happened there?
Yeah, I used to do it all the time. That's how I like build my name up in there. Like that's how people, a lot of people know of me through like rapping, battle rapping inside prison.
Oh wow, that's really cool. Like, what's at stake in for these kind of rap battles? Like, do you have anything like gambling with or money or just like I don't know? Just
fame
curious.
Or fame?
Or fame? Fame?
I mean, fame or bragging rights.
Bragging rights.
Well, we used to battle for cigarettes. But I was in Sing Sing prison, the yard. So the yard is where like the basketball court, where you can go outside. And to get to the yard to the block where your room is at, right? You have to walk through a tunnel. You have to walk through grass. You have to walk through like a building, 5 flights of staircase. Like you have to walk a good amount of time, maybe like 15 to 20 minutes of walking.
Wow.
And I remember before we went inside, I battled somebody for their sneakers. I said, okay, if I win, I get your sneakers and socks, and you have to walk back barefoot. Right.
Just to shame them.
Right. And then we bet I won. He walked back upstairs with no socks.
That's hilarious. So you continue to build on your music career, right? Like, but I find that you mostly focus on your YouTube now. Do you have any plans for your music in the near future?
Yeah, well, I mean, the music just wasn't working out for me in terms of like money wise. It wasn't, financially, it was costing more money to make, and the money that was coming in wasn't covering what I was making, what I was spending. I had to say to myself, okay, it's just not working to the point where I can sustain it. And then I just started making YouTube videos, but all the time I had YouTube, and then I started like uploading videos of Mac Eats, where I go around eating food and showing different cultures and showing different places in New York City and all over America.
Yeah.
So if you're watching YouTube, I don't know if I have YouTube, but Mac Eats. Yeah, so then I started doing the YouTube, and it's been lucrative for me. It's been fun. It's really fun. I love it.
Oh, I see. We really enjoy your Mac Eats TV. It's really fun, and just like you go into different neighborhoods, like the one you went to the Samoan neighborhood and
Red Demon.
And Red Demon is another one.
Red
Demon is really cool. It's like,
really cool.
He say his name is Red Demon, and then you guys started talking about eggs. I was like, what? It's really cool.
Yeah, he did my tattoo.
Wow. That's Guan Gong, right?
That's Guan Gong, right?
Yeah, that's really cool.
War God,
yeah.
I guess. Oh, that's
so
really cool.
how did you connect with these different people? Like, how did you find them?
Instagram.
Oh, you just like holler at them and they say, hey, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like,
people hit me up and say, hey, I would like to be on your show. Or I'll come across somebody's page and I'll be like, oh, that's interesting. Like, let me come over there.
Oh, wow.
Just like
that's really cool.
Just like what we did to him.
Yeah, that's true. We kind of find you.
You're like, oh, wow, really?
No, but
We
still.
did the same thing.
No, because because some of this neighborhood, in my eyes, might look a little bit dangerous. For me. So I was like, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, we never... feature with anyone whose name is Red Demon. I'm sorry. Just only China Mac.
And he's really dope, man. Like super dope. Red Demon. He's a great tattoo artist. He has a really good story too. He came from, you saw it. So he came from struggle. He lost his parents to America. you know, and he has a story.
So what's your next step? Because we've seen that you've been packing. You're gonna move to somewhere else. You're gonna leave New York.
Yeah, I'm moving to LA because, you know, number one, I'm working on my movie.
Ooh, nice.
It's so crazy. I feel like my movie is going to be one of the best Asian gangster stories like in history.
Wow.
We are looking forward to it. Hold on, but you just talked about how it's hard to sustain to do music, but now you're gonna jump to the movie industry.
Is the
That's
movie
even worse.
costing more money?
You know, but it's not me making a movie. You know, there's people that
Investor.
Financiers. They're financiers.
But yeah, I mean, I just feel like in life, you know, we have our dreams, but sometimes our dreams take us somewhere else, and we have to be intuitive, and we have to be like, you know, just ready to make the right moves at the right time. So I feel like, you know, it's just important for us to, we can want to be whatever we want to be, but the universe is going to give us opportunities, and sometimes we have to choose different things than we thought that we were going to do, but you know, it's the other opportunity. So I'm really excited about the next phase, about the movie, about all of my YouTube channel, which is growing like immensely right now. My YouTube channel is really well, and I'm grateful, and you know, I'm going to keep on, and I'm going to keep on making my mother proud, and I'm going to keep on, you know, doing the right thing, and you know, that's it.
Wow. Well,
yeah, we'll look forward to your movies. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, and we look forward to more content that you bring to your YouTube channel. They're so great. I love it. I love how you bring all different kind of people together, and we wish you well. And thank you so much for talking to us, being on our podcast.
When you guys come to New York City, what are you guys going to eat?
See, that's the thing. We don't know. Like,
we don't know.
I know I'm going to. Yeah, I'm going to eat cats.
What are you guys coming for? What are you guys coming for?
Vacation.
Just vacation, because we haven't been anywhere. We've been stuck in Taiwan for 3 years now.
So you're not coming here for work. You're coming.
I mean, we're gonna meet up. That's pretty much work for me. I don't know about him, but for me, yes, that's work. And since we're gonna open up,
you said you're gonna meet up with him, so that's work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because the thing is that we're all going to different places. I'm actually going to Europe first, and then she's going to West Coast.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna meet up in New York.
Oh, you're going to Cali?
Yeah, that's where I went to school. San Francisco and LA.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope.
Just meet up with friends, and then because since we're gonna open up our comedy club in Taipei.
Yeah, we're opening up the second or third comedy club in Taipei.
In Taipei.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go have a tour.
Yeah, just see different.
Clubs.
Yeah, we're gonna see different comedy clubs and see what they're doing good, and just, you know, try to bring back some of the experiences that they had, and try to make our club successful.
So you guys are comedians?
She is.
I am.
I'm just an investor.
Oh, wow. I would love to see you perform. Are you going to perform out here?
No, probably not. I'm on my vacation. And it's all about dicks and vaginas, though. My bits are all about dicks and vagina and how to cheat on your husband.
That's great.
Yeah, thank you. It's for Taiwanese, it's a little bit too much, but I guess that's what made me really famous.
Oh yeah, wow! So you're like kind of like the
big shot. Yeah, she's kind of a big shot.
Oh yeah, thanks.
In Taiwan.
Only in Taiwan.
In terms of comedians.
So, hold on, I don't even. I'm so sorry.
No worries. Don't worry.
So are you famous in Taiwan?
Well,
yes.
It's so weird to say this.
Let me say it. Yes.
Yeah, you gotta be true. If it's true, it's not like showboating.
Yes.
Yo, I would love to. If I'm here, if we meet up, if you're here when I'm out here or whatever, or if I'm out here when you guys are here, let's link up and I'll show you some food spots. Maybe do a Mac.
Sure.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Maybe do a Mac Eats with a famous Taiwanese comedian.
Sure. Sure, we'd love to.
But you're gonna have to say some jokes though.
Oh, you gotta write some English materials now.
No, English materials. No.
All her materials are in Mandarin.
We'll figure it out. We'll see.
I need to learn Mandarin. Like my Mandarin sucks. I can speak it a little bit.
Like a little bit means
like 你好.
Like 你好，是 China Mac. 你叫什么?
Kylie. Oh, that's not too bad.
That's okay. That's like white people level. Right?
Yes.
What's your favorite Taiwanese food?
You know, I really like guabao.
Because we got so many choices. It's really hard to choose.
My favorite, you know what my favorite is?
What?
Can you do?
What?
Okay,
Chinese hamburger? Taiwanese hamburger? Guabao.
No, 小笼包.
No, Taiwanese food.
Taiwanese.
Pork chop over rice with the preserved vegetables and the gravy.
That's white people's Taiwanese food, right?
No. That's
What, pork chop?
No, pork chop is 排骨饭 That's why he's talking about 排骨饭.
With gravy, but we don't put
no,
gravy on 排骨饭.
卤汁
I
yeah,
see.
come on. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. 卤排. That's very Taiwanese.
Sorry. Okay.
No, actually,
my
mad
bad.
respect.
My
That's
bad.
respect.
Respect.
That's very Taiwanese.
Oh, yeah.
Stinky tofu. That's always my favorite.
My
Stinky tofu.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you been to New York before?
Yeah.
How is the Taiwanese food in New York?
Why would I try Taiwanese food when I was in New York?
Yeah.
Right.
What? Such a waste. What?
What kind of question is that?
That's a weird question.
Let me take you to some places. You might have to. We'll be good though. Don't worry. So don't be scared.
Okay.
We
don't have to like pull out a pig and like chop out the pig head right away.
No, yo, listen. I could take you to some like really local, like New York City stuff. Like take you to the best pizza, right? Take you to the best halal food. Have you ever had halal food?
Oh,
No.
I haven't had halal food.
What? No halal food?
No halal food, not yet.
All right, it's like Middle Eastern type of food. They chop up the meat over the rice. Is amazing. Jamaican food. Have you ever had Jamaican food?
Jerk chicken? Yeah, I tried jerk chicken.
Probably.
It's really good.
Oh yeah.
No, Kylie hasn't.
Probably not authentic ones.
How about sandwiches? New York City is known for our sandwiches.
Yeah.
I love sandwiches.
Yeah, that's what we want to try, right?
You know what a chopped cheese is?
No, what? How do you chop
cheese?
How do you chop cheese?
But it's a burger. Like you take the burger meat, they chop it up, and then season it up, and then they put like different stuff in it. They put cheese on top of it.
Oh wow, it sounds awesome. It's a little bit like Philly sandwich with a twist. Like
it's not Philly cheese.
Oh, it's not. Sorry, my bad. I didn't know. I don't mean no disrespect to New York food.
I'm gonna take you to you want the fancy Chinese food? I got that too. Fancy dim sum.
No Chinese food. No Chinese food in New York. No. What? Wait, it's our first vacation for 2 years. No fucking Chinese food in New York. Thank you. What?
No rice.
No rice.
But what's the first thing you want? What's the thing that you caught your attention that you want to eat in New York City?
Bagels, maybe sandwich.
What do you want to eat? What do you want to eat?
You can.
Yeah,
This one.
I want to eat cats. Right? Cats, like the sandwich, KATZ.
Oh,
I thought you were trying.
No, not eat cats. I'm not a monster. No, the deli, Cat's Deli, right?
Yo, you saw my face.
Yeah, I know. I was like, yeah, I gotta. It's not like dogs, not pets. Okay, I'm not that Asian.
Bacon, egg, and cheese.
Yeah, that I want to eat too. And burgers. I love burgers.
What? Oh, listen, I got the best burger place to take you.
Really?
Better than In-N-Out?
We got some really good burger spots in New York City. I really wish. I don't know if anybody watching is going to know anybody in In-N-Out, but hold on. Let me take this time to say, In-N-Out, please. I would like you to hear me out. We need In-N-Out in New York City. We do. Why do we have money here? Why do you have an In-N-Out in New York City? 42nd Street. They got a store. It's open. You can contact me. I'll take you there. I'll show you where you can open it up.
Okay. I hope they contact you.
I hope they sponsor you for life.
I don't think you watching this, but
you never know. You never know. We are famous in Taiwan.
Yeah, we're famous in Taiwan.
All
right, we'll keep contact.
Yeah.
I'll send you a message on Instagram.
Yeah, so good to talk to you guys. Thank you for having me on your show. Have a safe trip to America. Be safe.
We will.
And hit me up if you guys need anything. I'm here.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.